everybody, it's Dr. Jo and Bear, and today we're going to show you, some stretches and exercises for ankle impingement. So let's get started. Disclaimer alert, disclaimer alert. So if you haven't subscribed already, make sure and click on the button down here. So most of these stretches could be for anterior or posterior ankle impingement. They all are designed for anterior, but again, you can use them for a posterior impingement as well. So to start off, we're just going to kind of stretch out the ankle. So you can do it with your hand. I'll show you some other ways to get a little bit more pressure on it. But the first one is just going to be going into dorsiflexion, and that's pulling the toes up towards you. So with the stretch, you're not going to actively do it, you're just going to pull them with your hand. So what I like to do is kind of grab my heel with one hand and then my toes up with the top hand and just pull in towards me. So if you have that anterior impingement there, that's just getting that spot kind of stretched out. Sometimes there might be a bone spur or something in there, and you just want to get that movement in there, because if it's impinged, you want to kind of loosen everything up in there. So just kind of taking that, pull the heel downwards this way, and then pull the toes up this way. So you're getting a little bit of mobilization with that as well. You don't have to hold it for a full 30 seconds. You can do like a 15 to 20 second hold. When you're using your body weight, I'll have you actually do the full 30-second stretch. But when you're just pulling, you can do that 15, 20-second stretch. So again, pulling down with the heel and then up with your toes, just coming up towards you this way. So do that about 3 times, really, to get that stretch in there. Now you're going to go into a plantar flexion stretch, which is just the opposite way. So now your toes are coming down. So now we're opening up that space. So it's kind of just the same now. You don't have to worry so much about the heel, but just taking the toes, and now you're just going to pull them down this way. So you should feel that stretch right there on the top. If you can, make sure and keep those toes straight forwards, going down this way, versus mine like to try and curl in a little bit, but try and keep them straight so it really opens up that spot in there. So again, holding that stretch 15 to 20 seconds. If your hands get a little bit tired, again, I'll show you another way to do it. But doing that about 3 times, just getting that nice stretch in there. And then the next one is going to be an eversion stretch, and that's taking your toes and your ankle and going outward. So it's almost like it's waving out that way. So going in that position, but really doing all the movement at your ankle, not your whole leg. So I like to kind of stabilize up top above the ankle so my whole leg doesn't move with this, and then take kind of in the toe, the ball of the foot area, and pull it outwards like that. So it's almost like a scooping motion to go out into that eversion and really just get a stretch there. You should feel it on the inside top right there. That's where you should feel that stretch. So going out into that eversion stretch. And again, 15 to 20 seconds, doing that 3 times. So just really kind of starting to get that joint moving, getting everything loosened up so it's not impinged anymore. So if you don't feel like you're getting quite enough stretch with just your hands, for the dorsiflexion, what I like to do is, as long as your body's comfortable kind of getting in this position, make sure your heel stays down, put some pressure through your foot, kind of almost in a closed up lunge position, and then lean forward. So I feel that stretch kind of up and through here. You might feel it in the back some if your Achilles is tight, but you're really just trying to work that whole joint area in the ankle right there. So getting that dorsiflexion. Make sure your heel doesn't come up. Keep that heel down and really just push forward like that. So with this one, if you're comfortable enough in this position, you can hold it for 30 seconds and then do that 3 times. And then so with the plantar flexion, you just come back, and now you want the top of your toes to be on the floor. You want the whole top of the foot to be on the floor. And then just kind of bring it up into this position like that. So I'm still using my body weight, but I'm just kind of leaning back onto the foot. If that's too much, you can just come back and go like this. But if you want a little bit more body pressure, lift your body up and then push down. So whichever one is kind of more comfortable for you. It might try and feel like it's cramping up a little bit when you do this, but that's really going to stretch out the front of that ankle and then even into your anterior tibialis muscles, just to help loosen everything up and to hopefully get some stuff unimpinged in there. So again, this one would be a 30-second hold, doing that 3 times. So now you want to go into strengthening the ankle. When you strengthen the ankle, that helps get those muscles strong again, because a lot of times that impingement happens because something's not doing what it's supposed to, or there's some weakness, and then something gets impinged, which is compressed, and then you get a lot of pain in that ankle area. So when I am working on my ankle, I use something, it can be a soup can, you can just put it off the edge of your bed or something, but you want your heel to be able to move freely, because taking a band, make sure you know what kind of bands you have. These are TheraBands because the different colors are different strengths. The yellow for the TheraBand is the lightest, and then the red's the next one. So if you're just starting out, you probably really want to start off with the lightest one. But if you have a different brand of bands, like Pilates bands, just make sure that you're checking out the colors, because they might be different types of resistance. So I like to make a loop on mine. It just makes it a little bit easier. And just make sure that the band is pretty much at the ball of your foot and that it doesn't slip off. So sometimes shoes with this helps a little bit, just because you don't want this coming back and smacking you in the face. So if you need to kind of spread the band out a little bit so it has a little more grip, you can do that as well. And just pull to have as much tension as you need. And when you're going down, this is just pushing down into plantar flexion and then coming back up. You don't want your ankle to be wiggling like that, because that means it doesn't have enough control and that you're having too much resistance. So if you have a lot of resistance and you're having a hard time controlling it down and back up, then either let go of the band a little bit so there's not as much tension, or go back down to the lesser strength band, because you want to be able to control that ankle as well as you can. So nice and controlled going down, nice and controlled coming back up. Don't just pop it up and down, because then you're not really getting anything out of it. So really kind of control that. I would say just start off with about 10. You can try 2 sets of 10, but I wouldn't do a whole lot the first time, because you just really don't know how it's going to feel and you don't want to overdo it. So then the next one is going to be going into eversion, going outwards. So now you're just going to turn where the knot is on the inside and then just kind of anchor it on your other foot. The biggest part of this is to make sure you're just moving at your ankle. So you're not moving your whole leg out, but the top part of your leg is really staying in one spot. And you're just pulling kind of outwards and up to get that eversion motion. So again, if it's really tight and you can't control that band, then relax a little bit or go back down, because you want to be able to control it. You want to get to 10 to 15 and it be tough but doable. So you can just take it up or down, whatever works best for that. So to get inversion, I usually then just cross it over this way, and now the knot's going on the outside towards the other foot, and then your anchor is there. Get it up around the ball of your foot, and now you're pulling in. So again, it's not the whole leg going out and in, it's really just at that ankle going out and in, and really trying to make it controlled and smooth without a whole lot of wiggle in the ankle. And then for the dorsiflexion coming back up, if you don't have anybody to hold it the other way, you can do a couple things. You can anchor it on to something solid like a table leg, or you can just take your other foot and just kind of push it down a little bit further like that. So now I'm going upwards and then nice and slow back down. So again, just enough where you're having to work pretty hard to get there, but you're able to control that band the whole time. So the last exercise is really going to be immobilization. So this would be if you didn't have somebody to do the manual work on you to help actually move the joint. So you want to use a strap. This is something solid. So this is not like the bands. You don't want it to give. And if it's something that has a loop, that works really, really well. So you're going to put it around your ankle. I'm going to roll my pant leg up a little bit so you can see it. And you want it to be about right here. And what this is going to do is it's going to stabilize that tibia bone. So once you start doing the movement, it mobilizes the joint down at the ankle. So if you don't have anybody there to help like hold on to the strap, you can really just step on it with your other foot. So give yourself a little bit up here, and then you have to have some good balance. But make sure that strap is tight, and then get your foot in this position. Make sure it's nice and tight right there at that tibia bone, and then go forward into that dorsiflexion movement. So what this is doing is when I'm moving, it's holding that bone there. So I'm actually mobilizing that joint. So it's really just kind of helping opening up that space. So you don't want to do a whole lot of these. You just want to do maybe 5 or 10, really just to loosen up that joint and get it feeling better. Those were your stretches and exercises for ankle impingement. So if you'd like to help support my channel, make sure and click on the link up here. Yeah, and where should they click to subscribe? Down there. And remember, be safe, have fun, and I hope you feel better soon.